There are some verbs in English which are not easy to define. A lot of this confusion comes from the many different ways they can be used. Some examples of these are set, go, and take. There's one more, have. And that's what we're going to focus on today. Stay tuned as I make have easy. Hi everyone, how are you? I'm Edward from English Made Easy, and today we're going to look at how one word can be very flexible and used in many different ways. Have is quite a special verb because there is no one single definition which encompasses all the different ways it can be used. But that's okay. As long as you understand the different situations we can use have in, you'll be fine. There are times when have can simply be used to replace another verb. One example of this is when have can replace the verbs eat and drink. For example, every morning I have a cup of coffee and a bowl of cereal. Last night I had pizza for dinner. Tomorrow I'm going to have sushi with my friends. Another verb which is often replaced by have is the verb take. Instead of saying take a shower or take a seat, we can say, please, sir, have a seat. Or, it's so hot outside, I'm going to have a shower. Now we'll look at a more standard usage of have, and that's to show possession or ownership. In these situations, we have to explain who something or someone belongs to. For instance, I have 2 dogs. I have green eyes. I don't have a car because I live downtown. You may also hear native speakers say have got when talking about possessions. This is completely fine. Have and have got for possessions are almost always interchangeable. I could have just as easily said, I've got 2 dogs, I've got green eyes. Remember, when using I have got, we normally use the contracted version when speaking to sound more natural. Don't say, I have got 2 dogs. Say, I've got 2 dogs. The next usage of have is also about possession, but this time something that you probably don't want to possess. We can use have to talk about possessions of illness or injury. For example, I have a headache. I have a stomachache. I have a fever. If you want to know more vocabulary about different sicknesses, illness, or injuries, you should definitely subscribe, as we'll have a whole series of videos covering these in the future. The last usage of have we'll check out today is using have as an auxiliary verb. We use have in either its present or past forms when talking about any of the perfect tenses. There's way too much to go into detail here about this topic. However, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about how present perfect is tense, then check out the video I made on present perfect with for and since. It's linked above, but you can also find it in the description below. Just remember, when using have as an auxiliary verb, the negative form is have not or haven't. If we're using have to talk about possessions, then we should say don't have or didn't have, depending on the tense. Okay, let's summarize. We can use have to replace the verbs eat and drink, to replace the verb take, to show possession of something, for sickness or injury, and as an auxiliary verb. Also important to remember is how have changes depending on the subject. I, you, we, and they we put with have. He, she, and it goes with has. For example, I usually have coffee and cereal for breakfast, and my friend has tea and toast. She has 3 cats, 2 dogs, and 1 rabbit. I've got green eyes, but he's got brown eyes. Thanks for watching this lesson of English Made Easy. If you feel like this video helped you, please give it a like, share it with your friends, or even consider subscribing to see more of our videos. If you have a question that you want answered, please post it in the comments section below. Or if you'd like to join our community, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or even support us on Patreon. You can find the links to all of these below. Thanks for watching and keep learning.